Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Excuse me, looks like Rumble is starting on up, Twitch is starting on up. Excuse me. Getting some hiccups right now, my apologies. Get this starting on up, YouTube is starting on up. Looks like everything is starting on up, still need to pull up my YouTube. Is it YouTube earlier? I meant something else. Can't remember what I was trying to think. Mine's a little bit low today, it's been one of those days where everything could go wrong, did go wrong, but I managed to get everything sorted out. Let's see. Yep, that's all good. I'm activating chat windows. Looks like everything's online there. Okay, you need to hit this button. There we go. And let me check my other computer. And everything's good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars by Web replay. Not by Web. Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. The Days of Ruin counterpart to Advance Wars by Web. Small on the bottom left side as the gray Isabella, we got Isabella only. Small on the top right side as the blue Fnatic, we got Ahri, 32. When it comes to the CEOs, Isabella is nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, does apply plus 50% golden cross, 2 radius, 36-60. I'm pretty sure that's all the same. As reduced plus 10% offense for all units. And additionally, that's of course because global, plus 2 movement, and only plus 1 indirect max range. The Fnatic is technically a custom character, which is not really a character in the base game, like Davis. I think it's just ultimately he's basically just Calder in a getup. Standard boarding cost 3 radius, 30-60-60, so pretty much all standard there. When it comes to his day-to-day, he has 10% offense, 20% defense, a good counterpart to Isabella. And when his all units of CO zone, if they are wounded of any sort, they get plus 10 additional firepower and defense. When it comes to superpower, it does provide, of course, that globally. The effect is to a higher scaling, the lower the health, the even higher the bonus. And also provides deals 1 damage to all of your own units, but you do receive a refund for damage dealt, so you won't be losing any value, not necessarily, and it'll give your guys a little bit of extra power charge. Let's go ahead and get started. This map is a triple base map, 1 airport. The airport is traversable, though there is a bit of detour around. Got a bunch of plasma here, or super plasma. In the very cartridge it says plasma. I know this is, what, developed by some of these Chinese or Korean Tiny Wars? Don't know exactly. By the way, there's also a decent amount of shores in the middle of the map, as well as some missile platforms. Missile platforms in Days of Ruin only provides 2 defense stars, and its central tile is a shore or beach. So this is 100% traversable. Just not so great with wheeled vehicles. This map also does support 2 column towers. Now we're going to see some bikes being deployed in the field. Bike up north, 2 bikes down south. I don't know why, for some reason the first time a unit moves occasionally, it provides no sound effect. No idea why. Of course, this initial capturing game, nothing much to say. We got 8,000 versus 9,000. Possible tank this turn, but it's triple base, so probably not. Remember as well, in Days of Ruin, infantry costs actually more at 1,500. And Calder, the Fnatic has loaded himself up into a bike. Can't say how effective he will be in a bike. while just trying to get some early power charge and probably engage infantry units. This map is quite large and relatively open, so maybe at a time before tanks start coming online and shooting your opponent in the face repeatedly. This may be a turn for a tank. Nope. Oh, yes, it is a turn for a tank. Very nice. Because my offhand math is tank 7,000, A2 infantry units is 3,000. So 10,000 is probably the minimum income to start seeing tanks on this map. Or any 3-base scenario. Now we've got a tank online. Isabel may load herself up into a tank. Tank, infantry. So we've got double tank now on the field. My Twitch stream crashed? It looked like it crashed. Let me refresh my stream, live stream my other screen to keep an eye on it. There it goes. Looked like I was starting to crash a little bit there. We've got now a couple more tanks over here. And of course, Isabel has loaded herself up to her tank. A lot of infantry units for her to target. There's more infantry down here. There's actually a decent amount of bikes over here, but less infantry units. In other words, less targets. So maybe better deploy her CO unit in this region. Oh, shut it, Razor Synapse. Don't care about updates. I'm busy streaming. Tank. So now we're going to see a good amount of tanks in the field. Both players at 19,000 income. 2 tanks, of course, would be 14,000 expenditure. So they got the capturing game, but a lot of these infantry units are a little exposed. That's probably a bad idea to push forward like that. The tank can't cover this bike full or really at all. If the tank were to strike from right there, yep, it would be out of range. So relatively bad movements there. I can understand trying to capture this one. Probably should send this bike and support this bike here. But this was a relatively bad placement there. Got multiple tanks up here, so striking this tank will be retaliated upon with this tank. Though this the command tank is out of range, it got also an artillery piece here. This map is maybe a little bit too wide open for artillery, though it can always be covered by a pile of bodies. Multiple tanks now push way forward. It is on top of 0 terrain stars here, so maybe not a great spot there. Unless she wants to try to lure it in. Does get a nice little early kill there. And doesn't engage right there. This infantry unit has 4 capture progress remaining, so it's probably going to interrupt another turn further. Yep. This tank will have to be on top of this tank there, so either this tank does get a follow-up shot on the flank and this one falls forward, or the tank just fully falls back. We've got multiple tanks here, so maybe a bad idea to even push for this tank to hit this tank here, because we've got the reinforcing tank. You also now have a rig to go on the field. Tank mech, so that's what the rig is meant for, and medium tank up north. Both like the wooden tank there. I think it would have been a good idea to try to get some engagement there, then have the command tank strike, then follow up with the regular tank. But most of the command tank was always needed to take it out there. I always forget the firepower of the CO unit itself. Because right now it's providing itself plus 40% firepower with the comm tower and 35% defense, so -5/-5 to counter out the other comm tower, so plus 40 plus 30. And it is capturing there, or nope, decides to actually engage there. Nice little merge there to get a bit more longevity there. Strikes this tank there. Both these things hyper wounded. And this tank can't necessarily push forward since it's another full health tank in the back line. This is a bit of a strong side, weak side mechanic. Got the 2 air bases or factories versus 1 base on each side. There's of course always the airport, which is more suggesting leftwards, but honestly can go either way. Isabella does have a good tank battle group over here. Oops, sorry, I hit my microphone. Falls back the wounded tank there. Infantry bikes managed to pick off that wounded tank. Very nice fall to shot there. But this will follow up, and not to mention, donating a decent amount of energy charge for the Fanatic. He's at 36 energy. Isabella has a significant amount of energy. She can pop her superpower next turn for +2 move range. This is maybe exactly what she needs. The command of this medium tank is out of range of everything. The Calder or the Fanatic maybe will pop his superpower this turn, or his power. 43 inches, so needs 17 more damage. I see 11 here and another 10 there, so I see up to 21 possible energy. Actually, including this one here, 24. Decides not to eye his power this turn. He does get some good first strikes here, whittling down the possible threat of Isabella's power. He has 7 health, 6 health, and a full health tank. These two tanks may be too far away. +2 movement is quite nice, but appears to still be out of range. And the Fanatic did not eye to get a his power charge up to a certain that 12 energy for me. Pops it immediately. Gets a nice strike there with the artillery. +1 range. 6 health hits 6 health. Full health hits 7. 7 health hit 4. Infantry finished off the 1 health. Great first strike down there. She does also have +20% firepower global, which is very important. Battlecopter pushes way forward. And the Fanatic has his own battlecopter down here. And we've got double rig with double mech. So the Fanatics really could be eyeing for mech play, I guess. Can't say how far that is. Infantry units or bikes tries to take a shot at the tank, leaving at 9% health. Artillery, medium tank, infantry. Does have to fire a decent amount of power charges or firepower bonuses. Does get the full 60 energy. But I don't know, this command tank seems pretty vulnerable there. But remember as well, Force and Days Ruin is 3 defense stars for them too. And overall, the Spike has 73% defense at 6 health, which is quite high, honestly. We've got multiple medium tanks over here, and Isabella's tank force is quite wounded. And the artillery piece is out of range, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this takes out of range the medium tank. Artillery takes a strike on that infantry unit there. Let's see. I don't know if she can do much versus medium tanks. There's also some reinforcing mechs here. Right now, the Fanatic has 102,000 field. Isabella has 86. Merge there. But I don't think that was a good idea to merge. She's still in range of this medium tank. So there's a bad spot to merge, in my opinion. It is on top of 3 defense stars, of course. Currently, right now, has +62% defense and does not pick off the Fanatic's command bike. It's probably a good idea for the Fanatic to pull back the command bike and pop a superpower. Perhaps eye engagements before he does any damage? No, eye captures before he does any damage himself. Other than that, he gets a lot of firepower bonuses for just having wounded units, so I don't see why to hold back on the superpower before attacking. There may be some situations I'm not aware of, but let's see what happens. No power this turn. Does get, of course, +20% defense here. Isabella taking a bit of damage there. 9, 7s, and 9. The medium tank is range of the artillery, so that's a good spot for the artillery to fire upon. Isabella right now has 92. The Fanatic ends the turn with 122. Both 25,000 income versus 22. And superpower is, of course, available for the Fanatic. Isabella has 3 energy to her name. There's some good damage there, of course. Finish off that medium tank. Got another medium tank here. And now mechs are into the command tank. The command tank's going to go down next turn. Tank, anti-air, bike. And turn 111, Fnatic starts with 109, so the Fnatic's in pretty good position. And I just realized he actually went for a bomber last turn. He could wound the bomber and get a bit of a refund. 2,000 funds of refunds. No power nor superpower. Same thing. I keep on trying to say power or superpower, but for most COs, that's the same thing. Mechs are advancing. The bomber is advancing as well. And a couple more tanks. And bike battlecopter. Pulls back the artillery there. Gets a good strike. Medium tank strikes medium tank, but remember, plus 20% defense in that CO zone, which is very nice. Tank, tank, tank. Remember, no tanks. Good shot there. And Milton not popping the superpower just yet. Medium tank goes down. ATR strikes battlecopter, gets a nice pick there. A lot of good hits there. Even the mech's trying to capture some properties. And here comes a bomber. Isabel has no real counter. It has 2 anti-airs. Superpower will be useful to help range them, but the problem is she doesn't even have a command unit in the field. We'll go for a command tank right here that made the best spot. Isabel's turn. CO's that one there. I think that's a mistake. ATR has to pursue the bomber. Could strike the battlecopter. But striking this battlecopter, which means this ATR could be knocked out by, or receive some damage from some nearby units. Medium tank infantry. And base skip. Multiple parts being captured by the Fnatic. Maybe a good idea to let the bomber secure the kill, even took a bit of damage to the bike, because veterancy on bombers are always quite nice. Veterancy is always quite nice. Choose which unit gets vetted, and I think a vet 1 bomber would be a little bit more beneficial. Probably recuperate the value by bombing 1 target with that boosted damage. Tank, tank, medium tank. A lot of reorging there. Gets a nice little kill there. Needs some decent damage. Just have to deal with the Fnatic's command or CO zone. I think as well, this tank could get plus 1 to firepower for if he pops this, the Fnatic pops his superpower. Is he going to pop his superpower this turn? Nope. Bombs away. And that plus 5, what was it, 5% additional firepower could have been quite nice to finish off the tank, which has 2 health. So the lack of veterancy did make a difference there. Isabel's command tank does strike there. You got a pretty good wave of mechs. Mechs are counter everything, but they get countered by everything. So if you actually manage to get in range, they are very good, very cost effective. Mech, and medium tank. And then there 7,000 in the bank as well. ATR is on 5 health, but probably still have to put what rounds it is into that bomber. I'll need to spawn another ATR over here. ATR infantry tank. I think the 5 health ATR should have shrunk that bomber. It would be cost effective. But now they got 4 health bomber. Dance around, gets another free kill there. There's a decent amount of wounded units now on the front line as well. I really do think the Fnatic could have been eyeing the superpower a little bit more earlier. Bomber, bike, tank. And overall, the Fnatic just slowly creep its way forward. If this infantry unit goes down, the 1 health mech maybe is charged by superpower, supercharged. You'll get a great shot there on the artillery, or maybe just both of them. Oh, don't worry about that up there. I do believe this is a good time for the superpower. Bomber's running low on ammo and fuel. Always nice to see. He does have 2 rigs, so he has plenty of resupply. And the anti-air is in range of the bomber. Maybe that's not a great bombing target. Isabel is at 56 energy, so she may be able to pop. She can possibly pop her superpower this turn. In order for this artillery to range the medium tank, she has to get the power going. This medium tank can only range this medium tank, so probably good to send the medium tank in the medium tank and then pop the superpower. Or that works as well. No superpower this turn. That was a late superpower. Could have done so much more. At least this artillery can range that tank there. Could have ranged it rather than use the regular tank. Tank and base skip. Bit of merge there, getting some damage on the front line, and his mechs are actually starting to run low on ammo. Does not take out that infantry unit there. This bomber is now completely out of ammo. Tank, with 8,000 in the bank. This thing does stay alive thanks to the Fnatic's defense aura. Finish off that medium tank there. Anti-air does finish off the bomber. Infantry takes up battlecopter. Infantry lost versus battlecopter, leaving at 1% HP. Temporary report deployed on the front line. Bomber, anti-air, tank, bike. Answer for 169,000 versus 77. So Isabel is pretty far behind. He's good strikes on these medium tanks. So the battlecopter strikes there. Bomber takes out Isabel's command tank. Of course, this anti-air could go down, leaving the bomber free reign. Then we're going to have another anti-air back here. Merge the medium tanks. Tank, bomber, bike. And Isabella has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. That's replay number 1 done for today. Let me pull up my Excel, or an Excel document, my notepad of replays. And I keep on hitting that button. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Sorry, my mind's a little bit melted today. It's for the north side as the Black Tabata, we got a 4 names. But on the south side as the Green Brenner, we got Ari 32. Looks like I'm doing this player twice in a row. Tabata, of course, is unchanged to cartridge counterpart. 50% boarding cost, 0 radius, 30, 60, 60. Of course, provides herself and then eventually later on other units, but as her Zero Zone Series painting, plus 60, allowing her to be a duelist or slash assassin, to a wall break, to a nuke summoner because her superpower class is Sturm's Meteor, and I'm pretty sure it follows the same 3 random patterns. Brenner is slightly nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 3 radius, only 1 expansion zone at fully max energy at 60. All direct units get plus 10% offense, 30% defense, rather than having the plus 10 for all units and 20% defense. But it does still provide that globally, and of course health 3 health regen. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, and technically 2 seaports, but we're likely will not see too much from the seaports. After all, there is the water's primarily meant for lander and or gunboat play. There are some temporary seaports for a gray field to summon some forward battleships, but static battleships is not as good as in Days of Ruin. They actually have less range than dual strike battleships. It's just the fact they can fire while moving in the same turn as well is why it makes them the king of the sea. But as a static place, they're not as good. Either way, the Greyfield can always still deploy forward gunboats at them with his power activated. Speaking of gunboats, there's also gunboats sitting on top of your HQ to make sure it just randomly get captured. There's also a column tower here, which seems easier for the sea side to capture it. Gunboat pushing forward some infantry units on both sides, or I assume there's one loaded in there. No, or not. Tabata has not captured a seaport just yet, but it did use a gunboat to forward deploy a couple infantry units quickly. Brenner has captured the seaport, now it needs to take time to load up units in the back of it, or into it. More bikes there by Tabata. One infantry gets forward deployed. Bike, and infantry. So far, still just a bike phase. You need about 10,000 income at the start of your turn in order to perhaps get out of tank. After all, 1 tank 7,000, 2 infantry units will follow up, will be the rest of the funds there in a 3-base map. So next turn we may see some Tabata tanks. This turn probably will not see a Brenner tank just yet. Infantry bike. Tabata right now does have 12,000 income, so likely possible a tank deployment. Now it's going to be a battle copter than 2 infantry. I guess it's going to be tank, gets CO'd the tank, and then push forward. Though then again, the tank will have to be pulled out right. Yep. Oh, recon. Base skips. Wait, she base skipped from 15,000 in the field, so she purposely not deployed an infantry unit there. Interesting. Probably due to the relatively not so great pathing, because the gunboat's on this seaport there. Going down south, that could... Nope, it probably won't be interrupted. This infantry is too far away to get spotting, and the bike will get trapped. So this property will be Tabata's. CO the tank there should just start trying to hunt down some infantry units there to get some CO charge going. When she's at the 1 CO zone, it does feel like it takes a long time to get one expansion radius of the 30 energy. But once she gets one expansion, she starts exploding and grabbing with energy because it's so easy for her to get kills with her absurd firepower benefits. After all, right now she does have plus 80% on her command tank. And Brennan's going for a battlecopter, and he is, what, direct units or just direct ground? I think it was just direct ground. Direct units, so that should affect the battlecopter. And appeared it does. Com tower not being captured up by Brenner. And we do have Tabata's command tank here. She may be able to spot that 5 health infantry unit. We'll give her 5 energy, of course, which will still result in her in need to make 3 more kills. Never mind. There's 10 energy for her. Nice, easy pick there. 2 more kills, and she will get a +1 CO zone. Got an anti-air pushing down south as well. Tank, battlecopter, or not battlecopter, bike. Blah, wrong thing that starts with B. Anti-air is out of range of the battlecopter there, so Tabata just has to be careful where she moves her command tank. Brennan does have vision of where the command tank is thanks to the city, plus if that infantry unit there got nuked. Tabata will probably start capturing this point there. I don't think she'll get a kill this turn. She knows about the command battlecopter. Anti-air charges way forward, does get trapped there, and with that spotting, does not secure a kill. So it does put our 19 energy. Com towers do provide 3 defense as opposed to 2 defense stars of the city, so that's probably one reason why that bike did not go down. Battlecopter, I think, hunting Tabata's command tank. That's still around there. The Centurion should have vision of that battlecopter as well. I think this one as well. Now Tabata does have 21,000 versus 24,000. She's also not obtained the comp tower. That's another thing as well. She's finding this +5 as well. The bike actually has 1% health remaining, so that may be another reason why it was the comp tower that saved the bike. Probably did. Managed to get first strike in Brenner's command copter. Very nice. Up to 27 energy as well. So she needs to strike another target, and she will probably get her CO charge zone +1 radius. Got a flare and tank there. Has what a lander. Now be able to flood down the southern region, some various ground vehicles, some actual firepower. Artillery, infantry. Oh yeah, there was an anti-tank. I was not paying attention down south. Anti-tank seems a little bit too slow. I can understand saying anti-tank here into a lander, but that's simply not the case. Good catch. I'm just not 100% in today. It's been just a long day. It here strikes the recon there. And I'm feeling the next target for the top of this command tank will be that A-tier. Oh. Does put the bike or the battlecopter right there. Takes out the A-tier there. Battlecopter goes down. Now it has +1 radius, allowing it to really get a lot of good firepower capability. Able to support other units there. Tank. The anti-tank is going up this direction. It's not the most agile of units, that's for sure. Recon down to 1% health. Does load up the anti-tank and the command tank into the lander. Very nice. But I don't know how effective will a top-up boost unit would be against an anti-tank. Top-up can make some stuff work here, but it's hard to say what she'll do exactly. Pulling back the command tank probably would be the safest option. She also sees the brighter command tank here, so probably best not to take any gambles. Just pull back Talbot, try to get an easy kill. Maybe this infantry unit will be that easy kill. Yeah, probably a good idea to just do that. 47 energy, just needs 13 more, and she'll get her tactical nuke, a firestorm. And anti-tanks are relatively slow, so she could just keep her distance away from it. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, anti-air. 28,000 versus 26,000. Properties are still being captured, like this temporary seaport. A lot of infantry units up here, and Brenner's tank decides to put a shot into this meteorite. Probably the best target that Talbot could strike is one of these things down here. In theory, if she strikes this full health infantry and the 3 health infantry, that would give enough super power charge. Blair charged way forward, does not spot this tank there. Temporary seaports are hiding in spots. And here, eating up some infantry up north. We're just going to just rotate down over here. It's not a bad idea. Just keep distance from the anti-tank, and then she could do a bit more work. Anti-air, tank, tank. Anti-tank does strike the bike there, knocking it out. Command tank gets a good strike there. Now he's up at 20 energy. Does get trapped there a little bit. But I think Tabata's should try to smash down here. She should be able to perhaps pick off this 8 health infantry tank there with her own command tank. Then take off this here, then have the boost strike from the command orbit right there, just a guess. But I think she's going to shoot through all these units down south next turn. Side strike right there, but she will still get the strike there, getting her fully maxed out CO power. So now she can bring in a firestorm next turn. Issue is, They also reduce her radius of her CO zone, which is incredibly powerful, having 2 radius. Now easy to project more forces down south, or project more power down south and upwards. Additionally, it will consume the entire turn of her command tank, thus it will make it so she won't be that effective herself. Though if she's out of range, such she could just simply charge forward towards the direction she needs it, pop it, give herself plus 60% global, and then also wound anything, because if the Firestorm strikes a value target, it will probably strike this bomber that Brenner just went for. Though possibly could land around here. Because if it rolls an indirect meteor, actually right now meteors are 7,000 like tanks, so that's 14. Plus this is additional what, 11. So that would be 25 right there. So it would be greater than the right there. So yeah, likely if it goes to a value or indirect, it will likely strike this formation here. So that's where the Firestorm would land, not the bomber. If it does for HP, it will likely strike somewhere around over here. But now there's also... Oh, nope, the Firestorm will land over here. Whether it be indirect or value. Health, it would be another matter, though. Tabata will strike Brenner's command tank, knocking out immediately. I think in the cluster with the gunboat. Oh, maybe I'm assuming you're talking about this gunboat or this one, but either way, health will watch strike over here. Now this would definitely be both value and indirect. Are flares considered indirect? I'm pretty sure their flare range is, flare attack is an indirect weapon, and I think it does increase by Isabella's increased indirect range, but I'm not exactly sure. Either way, I think Brenner's very susceptible to a Firestorm right now. Does take out the meteorite. Not to mention right now, Tabata does have 187 in the field. Brenner has 138, but so does the income. At HQ though, yeah, it could go any way, that's for sure. It's really hard to say, though, as more and more looks like it's around here. I see a very juicy target right there. Of course, this is our Castle Vision. Gets trapped there, spots a bomber, which could warrant the deployment of the Firestorm, or and get the plus 60% attack global. Both would be very useful. Spots the anti-tank. Tabata moves so in range of the anti-tank there. That may have been a bit of a misclick. Now she's very exposed here. She needs to get a protective layer there. She sees the bomber. Bomber is in range of command tank. Okay, she does have a pretty good protective layer around her command tank. She realized, oh crap, tank, command tank in range of anti-tank. That's not good. So that could have been a pretty big mistake, but I think she should be safe enough as well. That's going to be 8 health anti-tank to strike a 9 health Tabata command tank. Oh, also he doesn't have any vision over it. One of the few tiles. Flare fired, not, well, fired. So it looks like the Tabata command tank managed to be out of vision range out of everything somehow. Excuse me. Now spots the Tabata's command tank there. I think now would be a good time to pop a superpower. The plus 60 global could be very strong. Let's see what she does. Looks just soft retreating away. Anti-air could get booster strike on the bomber. Huh, somehow I thought that would have took it out. It's down to 1% health. Booster strike there, not one-shots the bomber. And Talbot's trying to clean sweep in the center of the map. And surf 112, Raider surf 113. There's no strike there. And looks like Burner has resigned. This Android saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Oops, wrong game. Don't need to hit F10 to back out of the game, if it's like every other RTS. But give me a moment to use the restroom. Yeah, I'm very good at controlled by the top of the thing. That is very much true. Either way, on to next replay. Maybe one day the Tiny Wars will eventually reach their 100 millionth replay. Or age 1 through that number. Was that 99.999 million? Let's see. What am I thinking? Ugh, I am out of it today. I cannot think much. By the way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the Green Hawk. I've got Skylar SK. Spawn on the north side as the purple Cassie. We got Jim, Leia. Either way, let's take a look at the COs. Both of these are technically custom COs. Got standard boarding costs for Cassie to radius 30, 60, 60. So staying expansion zone, just a little bit smaller radius. She provides plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and additionally, double promotions. For our superpower, provides course at global, double promotions, and also all units get immediately Veterancy 1. So they get immediately Veterancy 1, or 1 level promotion, should say. And if they make a kill during that turn, they'll get immediately up to max vet. Also, maybe a good idea to deploy your units first via factories before you pop the power, so they get to a 1 level promotion. I think that's actually been a mistake that most players always forget. They always go build the units last, of course, like a normal player, but in this case, you should build your units first. Hawk is, of course, a custom CO in Days of Ruin. Standard boarding cost 2 radius, has a much larger CO energy bar and course expansion, has 3 level expansion of 30, 70, 120. So later's level 2, well, existing level 3, max energy is 120. Today, all in CO zone gets plus 1% offense, plus 10% defense. Takes the Days of Ruin default plus 10, adds Hawk's day-to-day from previous games of plus 10 firepower. That's how it sort of melts together. He of course gets a black wave at at 50 energy, which is reduced compared to other CO powers, which is at 60. And which also applies plus 10, 20%, and plus 10% global. Applies plus 1 healing and minus 1 damage. And Black Storm at 100 energy provides plus 2 health and minus 2 health, but do know as well, 100 energy when it has max charge of 120. So you can overcharge your power charge, which means you get a bit of a holdover left over if you somehow go for the full 100 energy. Generally, I think since the base energy cost is 50 versus 100, it may be generally better just either pop powers and superpowers since you get access to plus 20% and plus 10% defense global more often, but you can still hold over that leftover charge still either way. Either way, let's get started. There's one thing about the CO power doubles if it's triples the rank some of the heavier CO power. Sorry, I'm trying to think. I'm having trouble reading right now. It's one thing if the CO power doubles, if not triples the rank damage, some of the heavier CO power. I don't think that does anything improves doubles the effects of the promotion, but just doubles the promotion received. It's slightly different. Of course, this map is a double base map with a airport, so probably going to be seeing a healthy number of battlecopters. Decent amount of roads, but it's a little bit windy path. And this map does offer a little bit extra income to start out with, so you've seen some bikes a little bit earlier. Or then again, that's just more nature of 2 base maps, never mind. My mind just melted today. I had to jump forward of his bikes there. He could actually go straight for the column tower, get that procured nice and early. And possibly maybe able to jump over here. Let's see, to give incentive to strike, first strike with the CO power before building. Yep. We do have him, now he's going straight for the column tower there, he will be able to secure it. He can contest this column tower there. He has gone for a recon into tank, while Cassie does have tank here. CO's the tank there, and pushing down south for the winter. Decides to just sort of hold a little bit short next to this city there. Will be captured next turn. Another tank down south, which will help him win down here. Got now a tank there. There's double promotion there. You can see the double bar, which does not mean captain or lieutenant. Anti-tank infantry. An early anti-tank, that's interesting. It would take a bit of time to get over here, especially with the wastelands. It will move incredibly slowly through the wasteland. It is wheeled. So then again, it has a different wheel type. Just give me a moment. Let me just double check. Yep, anti-tanks do take 3 tires. I think anti-tanks have a like tire B for movement rather than just tires. So it's like a little A and B with some different units there. Does take out Hawk's command tank immediately. Battlecopter infantry. So got the first battlecopter in the field. Couple picks there, getting some good hits across the front line. Of course, Hawk does have a comm tower. Nobody has this comm tower there, so he has plus 5% attack and defense bonus globally. You think so, making his way down south. And now we've got some good amount of efficiency here. Max vet tank. Another anti-tank up north. Looks like Cass is really eyeing for the anti-tank, which is quite unusual. You usually don't see an anti-tank by turn 9, let alone 2 anti-tanks. Battlecopter. I think, well, this is a 2-base map, and anti-tank's a bit more vulnerable to infantry and other machine gun fire, so this may make it a bit more difficult to counter with a lack of infantry production since it's 2-base. I think there's a new unit, Spike runs on Tire B, and the veteran units, Rockets, run on Tire A. So veteran units get a different move type? I did not know about that. Let's see. I'm just going to take a quick look. This is Tire B. And oh, veteran units is Rockets, run on Tire A. But yet, the anti-tanks do run on Tire B. Sorry, I am having a hard time reading today. I am completely brain fried. It's been a day. Battlecopter infantry. Anti-tank slowly creeps way forward. Merge there. Infantry unit or bike there, just existing next to the anti-tank. Maybe trying to be a bit of bait. Anti-air tank. And does get in the range of this anti-tank there. That was not worth it. Now there's multiple tanks in range of the anti-tank. That is not a good idea in my opinion. We do have now this command tank here. It is out of range with 6 energy charge. Known units throughout the series like Rockets. Oh, got it. Not like high quality veteran, but veteran as in from previous games. Got it. Mine's still melted though. Because I was also thinking like veteran units as in veterancy in the game. Too many overlapping terms. Castle Command Tank does get good strike there. She's at 57 energy, so next turn she could get her power and or superpower. That's the same thing in this game. Oh, she could give her units +1 veterancy global, which could be very nice for the anti-tanks. Does receive a shot there from the pike. And Cass's command tank does take a shot there. This tank needs to get away. It didn't get away, so that means she will pop her superpower next turn. Strike down the anti-tank, which is probably cost effective. The anti-tanks cost 11, tanks cost 7. And does get the superpower pop, gaining in all these units additional level of veterancy, very nice. As well as globally 1 extra level of veterancy per kill. Pulls back some of these units there. See the max of that tank now. And did go ahead and go late deployment there. It's not gaining veterancy on these 2 units. It's wait, is it wait a second, I'm stupid, am I? Okay, it says +1 promotion immediately to all units, not to unweighted units. I was wondering, is it just weighted or all units or unweighted? Mine's melted. We do have now veterancy 1 on the Duster up here, which can help him hunt down some battlecopters. We've got an anti-air here. Medium tank. Oh, Cass's command tank. I think it, yep, merged there. We'll lose the max of that tank, but keeping the command tank on the front line is probably a good idea. Though 6 energy is nothing too significant, maybe she could have just deleted it and try to reload it next turn. Maybe reload it down over the right side. Now we got Hawk loading stuff into a medium tank now. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry. Duster decides not to charge forward and engage the battlecopter in range of the anti-air, which is probably a very good idea. As As long as the battlecopters near the anti-air, so they can be a bit more aggressive. Strikes the anti-tank there. And there. To be fair, unloaded units with that rank is actually good because the extra defense. Good. Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. But I was talking about like unweighted units. Of course, they still have to be a max out veterancy, right? Wait. Really stupid question. Can T-Copters and APCs or rigs get even veterancy from Cass's superpower? Am I stupid if wondering if that's even possible? And I'm assuming they get they have to be at max out veterancy to get any effects, because they don't get any inherent defense. Ugh, my mind's still melted today. Good strike there on the battlecopter. Cass makes some good ways. Yes? Okay. Just had to be sure because they can't fight, they can't normally get veterancy. Well, you have to get 3 ranks of 3 superpowers of Cass in order to get them to get used to the defense. The effects of veterancy. Blah, I can't speak. Anti-air does go down, takes another anti-air there. So there's one health anti-air in the field for green. So this battle Duster can strike this other one quite nicely. You can also vet non-combat units by COing them. True. Doesn't mean you should. Though I actually seen a Wayland game where you load himself into a T-Copter in emergency and actually work. Battlecopter, infantry, artillery. Hawk did go for a decent amount of medium takes to build. He has 3 medium takes, I just realized that. He even takes a shot because the battlecopter with the medium tank there did decently well. That battlecopter is taking a beating. Right now, 34 energy. It gets +1 CO zone. Duster can at least get. Yeah, doing that battlecopter is a bad idea, wasn't it? I suppose if the Duster does engage the battlecopter, it can retaliate, but still, probably not a good idea to build a battlecopter this turn with the Duster in range. It's already got paid for itself, so it can lose itself to some degree. Snowwind, I'm assuming you're talking about, with a T-Copter. She is effectively the Paratrooper CO, so that could actually be a fun combination. Where you just paradrop in a mech, then next turn load the mech into the T-Copter, and just start pushing her mechs like that. Yeah, she may actually be pretty good of a T-Copter. Duster does finish off that unit there. Now we got a max vet Duster. Battlecopter, medium tank, and base skip. Hawk right now has 45 energy. Next turn, he can pull out a Black Wave, which will be quite nice. Also, his unit is slightly wounded. Did go for a rocket last turn. I'm not a big fan of rockets generally. And looks like Hawk does in turn of 114, not 105 versus 117, so they're pretty even value in the field as well. You think does strike there. Looks like she's trying to pick off the Hawk's battle medium tank there. Does take out his command medium tank. Duster may need to fall back to the airport and get refueled. Though it may not be a bad idea to go for rig and deploy out T airport. Temporary airport's always quite useful. Just takes a bit of time to pull on the field. And looks like Cass's command tank will go down as well. So both of them lose their CO unit. We may see he could load himself up to this tank over here. Decides not to. Battlecopter, tank, anti-air could load himself any of these, or maybe move the rocket on top of the HQ and load up there, but the rocket does take a pretty good nasty hit there. Wasn't paying too close attention to its positioning, well, didn't he? Medium tank does go down, takes the anti-air as well. Battlecopter strikes the medium tank strikes medium tanks. I think Cass is starting to steamroll a little bit. 119 versus 62, yeah, Hawk has lost quite a bit. And I think letting the tank get a free shot in the rocket was really not good. Definitely should not have moved the tank that far forward. Rocket gets a strike there, hits the tank, and not finish off the tank. Oops, back from the airport. Command anti-air takes out the rocket. Duster strikes the battlecopter. Duster's down to 12 fuel with no battle rig nearby. Looks like the Duster is on a one-way trip. Also almost out of ammo as well. So this Duster is almost out of fuel and ammo. This is maybe one of the better Dusters I've seen in a long time. We have a missile here, so willing to sack the Duster there. However, it would base lock this base. Probably better actually for the rocket strike the battlecopter, since the Duster is going to crash and burn relatively soon. But he hits the resign button instead. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I probably only have enough for enemy for one more replay. I may not be going for a long stream today. I'm just melted today. I just have trouble thinking at the moment. Butchering all of my words and have trouble even just reading comments. Why'd I hit the empty button? Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn bottom left side as the turquoise Tasha. We got F2A move. Spawn on top right side as the red Isabella. We got me, or my. Don't know if I should pronounce the I or as an I or an E. Tasha is of course buff for the cartridge counterpart. She does has standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. Plus some offense and defense for all units, and all units get air units get additional 40% offense and 20% defense. And if they move starting from the CO zone, they get to move 2 spaces additional away. So she has +2 movement range on her air units. So she's going to have very agile, very powerful aircraft. And of course, the superpower, of course, buys out all that global, but instead of 2 movement range, it is +4, allowing them to do a deep strike. Isabella is nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. Has +20% offense, +10% defense for all units. And of course she does provide +2 movement range and indirect range for her superpower. Let's go and get started. This is a triple base map, 1 airport, 3 seaport. Likely we're going to see very little to no seaport play. At most a lander I usually see. Sometimes a gunboat to go along the flanks, but that's about it. It's very slow getting out of the base area. Then there's a decent amount of roads and properties in the middle to when you get out. What makes getting out of your base so difficult sometimes is, 1, you got shore tiles, which are effectively the same as planes when it comes to movement. And across the shores, you also got a forest there, so even tracked vehicles will get slowed down. The wheeled vehicles are particularly slowed down, so bikes have a hard time getting on out. Additionally, recons and other wheeled units as well. Bikes do have the tire of movement, same thing with the anti-tanks, rockets and all recons and all that sort. We do have a bike there. Of course, it's also triple base as well. Getting out bike is quite nice, even if it's hard to get out of the base. But there is a lot of open ground, a lot of properties map. It is quite a large map. There's also a pair of airports along the side, so always a good idea to go from early teacup to get them. Not to mention the backline seaport. It too provides monies. And generally, we don't see tanks until on 3 base maps until you get 10,000 income starting out with. Because, of course, in Days of Ruin, infantry do cost a little bit more expensive at 1,500 rather than just a simple 1,000. Bikes, in comparison, only cost 2,500, so play a little bit more, but not too much more for a bit more of a mobile infantry unit. Got now a T-Copter now floating in the field. Next, of course, also get a price reduction compared to previous Advanced Wars game, costing 2,500, and the damage going between tiers is also a bit reduced as well, so they're actually a little much more effective versus medium tanks in this game compared to other games. Recon infantry bike, so looks like Tasha's going a bit aggression. For Tasha, loading herself into a battlecopter or does would be quite nice. But probably best battlecopter. And Isabel has come for early T-copter, but not eyeing for the side properties. Try to get into some of the map, claim the more contestable territories first, properties first. There's also a pair of comm towers. This one's more safer for south, this one's more safer for north. And I forgot to mention, both the HQs on this bit of landmass, on the central part of the landmass, so somewhat exposed, but I haven't really seen HQ victories. Really in any, in most games. At least not some sort of sneaky HQ capture. That's something that doesn't really happen all too much in Days of Ruin. In Advanced Wars by Web, there's a lot of maps where they put the HQs more in the center of the map and actually makes it as a possible point of contention on the map. Battlecopter, infantry, and base skip. Got a tank up here as well. Isabel may load herself up in this tank, and Tasha's going to load herself up into a battlecopter. Isabel should be eyeing anti-airs of much more earlier, since she is fighting against Tasha. Chance for a battlecopter or 5 is likely. Probably 5 is a little bit too much at any one point in time. Does core battlecopter own? Battlecopter can attack battlecopter, but Tasha's +2 movement range on her soon-to-be command battlecopter can be quite powerful. There's the command battlecopter. Tasha may want to go, yep, got another recon field. I was going to say she may want to go a little bit heavier in recon to spot the various possible anti-airs. You still need to go for some tanks to deal with those anti-airs. Does get a nice little first strike there. It looks like she can strike some of these outlying units and not be attacked upon. If the player is counting possible tile scores where a battlecopter could be, just need to count the 6 tiles from this airport and have a rough idea where a possible counter battlecopter may be at. Try to predict where an anti-air on this map is very difficult, but you can make estimates. But looks like Tasha put her battlecopter in one of the worst positions possible. Now she can receive a first strike from Isabella's command copter. Tank, 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 triple tanks. Isabella, of course, has a flare and a tank now. And she's gone for double T-copter. Is she going to try to steal these Cs up there? A good idea to put one onto the seaport. And looks like Tasha's battlecopter is now revealed, and no strike there. Recon's now fully surrounded. And now got an artillery piece there as well. Takes out the infantry unit there. Does get trapped. Nukes that infantry unit there. For now, she does have plus 50% base firepower on her battlecopter. Plus with the comm towers again, +5/+5. I think we just making it ever so shy of a Tabata's battlecopter. She provides +60/+60. Of course, mobility isn't quite good. Got another battlecopter, anti-air infantry. And Tasha almost has enough for another expansion for CO Zone, which does make it a bit more flexible when pushing forward with battlecopters. When down in flower formation, always a good idea to protect your battlecopters like that. Because sometimes you just don't know when anti-air could pop out. Battlecopter, tank infantry. Of course, she did lose her recon down south, so her spotting's a little bit worse off. She's gonna have to probe for perhaps some 200 infantry first. And decides to go for a strike rather than trying to go for a capture. Command copter does fall back. Going to try to boost forward both battlecopters forward now. Very nice. Let her opponent reveal themselves, then she can simply just counterattack. Only thing the front line is exposed, or really anything in the front line over here is just infantry, so let her strike the infantry and then counterattack the battlecopters as a possibility. Very nice. But Isabel's going to be a little bit more safer than that, rather than blindly being aggressive. Anti-air, medium tank, and infantry. You usually see a lander before a medium tank on the field. It helps push these units forward. Because after all, the medium tank will take a bit of time to get to the front line. Of course, got a medium tank down here as well. Split the battlecopters. And up north, there's nothing up here to stop the battlecopter, not even another battlecopter or AT-air. So, good call there. Over here, we do have the anti-air as well as multiple battlecopters engage Tasha's battlecopter. We do have an anti-air by Tasha as well as some supporting tanks. And Isabel right now is at 14 energy versus Tasha's 27. Battlecopter, tank, anti-air, mech. Battlecopter does get picked off there. Tasha will strike the battlecopter for her own. And will provide a bit of a wall there, very nice, but the artillery is in range of that said wall, so it may not be super great. The anti-air may will strike Tasha's battlecopter. I think it will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, taking out infantry unit should be easy enough. The artillery and infantry unit. So Tasha's battlecopter will receive a direct hit this turn. She's at 45 energy. It is a significant amount of energy. And now I've got the CO boosted zone as well. And Tasha's battlecopter takes a massive hit there and gets gunned down by the tank. It's a great strike there down south by Isabelle. Tasha enters at 131. Isabelle right now is 111, so they're still pretty even. T-Copter's almost out of fuel, 37. Simply fall back to the airport, gets a bit of a resupply. Now with this other T-Copter, I'm going to be pushing for some mechs. Got infantry units over here by Tasha. Looks like Tasha best may need to fall back to this region. She does have a medium tank help down south. Seals another battlecopter, which she had a decent amount of fun sorting out. 27,000 versus 26,000. Maybe she could have hold off and went for a bomber, but that would be overkill. Tank. And we do have a rig deployed by Isabelle. Ford temporary airport wouldn't be half bad. Tasha has claimed this property there, so getting pretty bold right now. And you've got one despicable neutral property left. And Tasha's also trying to flip a property there as well. Isabelle's going to try to flip that property. She has full 60 energy now, so she can pop her superpower next turn. And that tank is nice and backlined, so it's pretty hard to get rid of it. Battlecopter, recon, tank. Battlecopter, tank, recon, infantry. Something I want to check on first. The range of the flare, I can't really see, can I? Pretty sure the flare does get increased range with the superpower. No superpower this turn. Just trying to set on up. Does not see this massive force mission vehicles. Does now. Tasha has 0 energy. And Isabelle's ATR on the front line. So that could be easy target for Tasha. She's not going to get her superpower next turn, that's for sure, but she can get some serious work done. She may even get up plus in CO zone, but with 1 CO zone radius and needing 30 energy to get 1 expansion may be a little bit difficult for Tasha. Easy pick there. Takes chunks of that ATR, very nice. But yeah, looks like she only gets 20 energy, so won't be able to get plus 1 expansion this turn. So missing out a lot of free energy there. Isabelle's command tank goes down. Now Tasha has a pretty sizable death blob here. Right now 171 field on the 1,000 field. Isabelle has 155, but she still has day-to-day. So Tasha's an ever increasingly good position. But now a lot of Isabelle's assets are in range. All needs to CO the battlecopter to try to get quickly down south as possible, get that CO charge going. And up in CO zone support. Good strikes down there. Battlecopter ATRs are still in range as well. Now the ATR probably won't be able to strike the command copter. A good amount of Tasha's tanks are quite damaged. Isabella started sweeping the lead into her favor. There's a very powerful counterattack indeed. Tasha does still have 2 more supporting tanks and a battle cop to push on forward. Isabella has her own death force here, that's for sure. Now Tasha does 29,000 versus 26. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter, giving +1 CO zone. Medium tank strikes medium tank. T-Copter gets struck by light tank. We saw some outlying units there. Merge. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter, knocks it out. There's a bit of scouting there. Does not take out the medium tank there. Strikes the regular tank there. Infantry strikes, gets struck. Nearly out of CO charge, CO power. Could possibly get the CO power next turn, but got the Battlecopter range of Battlecopter. This goes down to 131. Tasha's at 150. Of course, still has her day-to-day. Battlecopter, anti-air tank. Anti-air does strike Tasha's command copter. Maybe it'll finish off. Does kill that unit there. And yeah, Tasha's command copter will go down. No CO power for her. T-Copter must be in his 20s right now. This one's at 31. This one here is at 15. And there is a rig on the field. Tank, bike, and Battlecopter. Tasha's turn. Probably COs the Battlecopter. Does. And allows to get a free strike onto that T-Copter there. So 10 energy to begin with, which would make it a bit more easier to get the 30 energy. And Tasha just needs 2 kills now for boosted Battlecopters. Make that 17 energy. Pretty easy to get increased expansion radius. Tanks getting a good strike on multiple tanks there. Managed to find some props end their turn on as well. Very nice. This tank could get a good strike there. Maybe we're able to finish off this medium tank. Pretty close to. It probably all depends on the luck roll. Well, it's also fully dead now, so I know there's always a bit of stream delay, so tank, anti-air tank. Flare does fall back. It is at 1 ammo. Not like it can do much versus this, though. Flares are disturbingly effective, so the answer is actually yes, it can do quite a bit there. A lot of wounded Tasha tanks here. It's been knocked out, drag out, brawl. Mech's at 1 ammo, so it has still 1 more shot into it. Has 114 versus 137, so still pretty even. Neither side's getting decisive victory, but now Tasha has a good Battlecopter combat group. It should be able to easily get enough power charge to get a +1 CO zone. Excuse me. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. Battlecopter strikes tank there, getting +1 CO zone now. Medium tank goes down, strikes the anti-air. They still got some Isabella anti-air Battlecopters on the field. They're both versus 1, though at 9 health. And now Tasha's going to end turn 137 or so her day-to-day income. I think Tasha is starting to eke out victory. She's getting great work done, but as well as those 2 Battlecopters and a wounded anti-air there could make some work done. And Duster here as well. Duster's out of range, however. And maybe CO the Duster? Does CO the Duster. Of course, out of range. Does get some CO zone charge though. Tasha's battlecopter does go down there. Mech gets a good strike there. Wounded tank does go down. More tanks streaming on in. And it looks like Tasha ends turn for 140. And Isabel ends 109. So she's getting pretty far behind, at least one full turn. Some merges there. Of course, as Isabel starts getting forced back, her reinforcement arrives quicker. Battlecopter pushes forward. This battlecopter is actually getting pretty low on fuel. It looks like Tasha's regrouping the forces, giving Isabel a moment to breathe. You have triple Tasha ATR there and good number of supporting tanks. Tasha is still pretty good mixed force and not bringing up the medium tank. Isabel is still lacking some anti-air department. One Duster and one anti-air on the way. Uses 1 health HP anti-air to for our scout. Anti-airs do have 3 vision range, making it for a decent unit for spotting. Layered fire. Both sides setting up a brawl, and these battlecopters can be free pickings. This may be... Yep, I think Isabel pushed too far for the battlecopters. And now I see multiple ETRs in range of multiple battlecopters and the Duster as well. This may be the game where Tasha straight up wins because of these anti-airs. Gets a decent amount of power charge there. Won't be able to get any more CO zone this turn, but takes out all of Isabel's battlecopters while on the fresh one. So even the Duster there. Oh, maybe we'll get some max out. Nope, does not get expansion radius. And a lot of stuff being picked on off. Battlecopter, anti-air, or bike, tank. Isabel starts turn of 83. Tasha ends turn of 181. So Tasha, or Isabel's in a very bad position right now. And resigns there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, I am just not up for the casting for the rest of the day. I'm a little bit, my brain's melted. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good